2.5 minutes left. That was a 4th and 3 play. 3 seconds left. Line up for the 33-yard attempt. It's a tie game. Not anymore. Game winner. Panthers win 30-27. Here's Rico.
That one buckled up. I'd definitely say it was a little personal. Just wanted to get the win and have a great performance from my end. And like I said, those guys allowed me to do it, and we was able to get the job done again.
Rico had a few things to say about the Cowboys coming into this. He told them to buckle up. What did you see from your teammate today?
I mean, yeah, his energy is contagious. You know, we noticed that this is a revenge game for him, and we wanted to play behind him.
Who he is, a dog, an elite player, someone that has that competitive spirit every weekend. And, you know, that was great for us because he challenged all of us to have his back. You know, that we know it meant something to him. We love him, so we want to make sure that we had his back. You know, we believe in each other. We trust in each other. You know, this is great. We're going to enjoy it for 24 hours, and then we're going to turn the page and figure out how we can execute next week.
Congrats on the win. Thanks, Bryce.
Appreciate it.
Who is this Rico Dowdle?
Oh, boy.
He said he was going to prove the Cowboys they should have kept him, and he did exactly that. 239 yards from scrimmage. NFL record for the most in a player's first game against a former team. It also happens to be the Panthers' single-game franchise record. So here's Brian Schottenheimer on the losing side talking about this game.
That's a great coach. I mean, Matt's a great coach. He's been around. Everywhere he's ever been, he's had good defenses, you know, and it's not just Matt by himself. You know, Matt's trying. You know, the players are trying. This is not a lack of effort. This is not that we go against them every day. I mean, it's an iron sharpen iron mentality. I understand the players and the pieces that they have over there. You see them working each and every day. You see them getting better. At the end of the day, they're getting better. I mean, the communication, they're getting the ball out, and so they're going to get better. It's a long season. It's a long season. We got a lot of great players. We got guys getting healthy, guys coming back. That's only going to make this team better, more explosive, and just we got to keep our heads and keep working, understand it's a process, and it is a loss, but it's also we got to take something and learn from it.
Sadly, one of those players coming back is not Micah Parsons, and that's not good for Dallas. Plenty of offense for the Cowboys. One of the league's best. Only the Bills average more yards per game. However, the D dead last in the NFL as they're the only team allowing over 400 yards per game, and seemingly all of that given up to Rico Dowdle. Woof. So the Cowboys, they just keep playing this Jekyll and Hyde game each week, week to week. Can they win the NFC East playing like this?
No. And offensively they can, but there's a problem. You got to play defense. And their defense was a little bit better today, but it's not very good. And I don't know how they're going to fix it. But Dak Prescott in this offense, they are marvelous. I mean, they can score points with anybody. So when you break this division down right now, think of the Dallas Cowboys where they're at. Okay. Now you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, and all of a sudden they had another hiccup. And now the hiccup started on defense. It wasn't offense. The offense was kind of clunky, but now on defense, they have problems covering people. So they got exposed with that, right? So now you think about who's maybe the better team in this division. We know the Giants are starting a young quarterback, right? They're not. So the Washington Commanders now, they're the leader in the pack.
Wow.
The Washington Commanders. And they were good last year. Remember, they split with the Philadelphia Eagles. So this Washington Commander team, to me, they're the best team in the division right now.
A lot of teams in that NFC's got things to fix. Eagles, Dallas. But the Commander's in control. Okay? It's early,
right
like
now.
Dak says.
There's a lot of football left.
We'll
but right now, we'll have 5 weeks from now, we'll talk again.
Okay.
And the Cowboys and the Panthers facing a familiar face in Rico Dowdle. And Dowdle said, buckle up to his former teammates. And, you know, it's nice when you can trash talk and then you can back it up.
Walk that walk. Rico looked like Emmitt Smith yesterday against the Cowboys. Unfortunately for the Cowboys defense.
Ready to take that grave. All right, meanwhile, Dak Prescott finding George Pickens, who sprints through the defense and into the end zone. That's a familiar sight now, Pickens. Look at that.
George Pickens is getting it done in the absence of CeeDee Lamb, and he's having fun while he's doing it.
Meanwhile, Bryce Young finding Teterow and McMillan for the touchdown. 2 TDs.
2 touchdowns in his first time scoring touchdown so far this season. Many more to come here. The connection between he and Bryce Young is starting to grow.
And on that 4th and 3, finding Hunter Renfrow over the middle. And the next play, man, Dowdle
all day. 7+ yard gashes on the ground by that Panthers offense.
Record 239 scrimmage yards in this one. Ryan Fitzgerald lines up for a 33-yard game winner. The kick is good. The Panthers get the win 30-27 and improve to 3-0 at home. And the Cowboys' defensive struggles, those are for real. It's not just one thing or another. Dallas ranking last in passing yards per game allowed, 29th in rushing yards per game allowed. No team has allowed more first downs than the Cowboys. So, Dan, man, how did the Panthers take advantage of that Cowboys defense?
I don't know. That's not me. There we go. This Carolina yesterday had the best offensive line in football. And what you saw was them make a clear decision to double team and run behind the double team against Dallas's defense. And the way that they just, between their guards and centers or guards and tackles, moved people at the point of the run was fantastic. Backside, left guard and left tackle combination. This is a huge part, some of their counter stuff. Look how far they're moving that Cowboys defender off of the ball. This is a hole for Rico Dowdle. That's an easy run for a talented back. Again, left guard, left tackle. Just watch the movement that they gain. They're taking that defensive tackle on a downhill run. He becomes opposite of the hash when he started in the middle of the field. Once again, planting them on the ground. Their tight ends were very big as well. I thought their tight ends and then the receiver, Bryson Tremaine, number 87, were big time. And this is the run that, look at that hole, guys. I mean, this is the run that they started to really lean into, that long counter as the game went on, where they pull that backside guard. Look at the pinning that they are getting from those outside blockers on those double teams and then those guards. Rico Dowdle had great patience when it comes to the vision and setting those blocks up. But this was a double team fest by Carolina's offense. And I think it's one that really starts to establish Carolina offensively, at least at the line of scrimmage, as one of those best offensive lines run game-wise in the NFL.
Yeah, usually when you see a stat line from a back, like 183 yards, there's a 50, 60, 70-yard run baked in there. I'm just expecting that. I watch, and nope, it's just 7 yards, 11 yards, 12 yards. Complete and utter physical domination at the line of scrimmage. Dan outlined it. That part, though, I would say was not entirely surprising, right? We knew this Cowboys run defense was bad. I would argue the more surprising part is what happened on the other side of the ball, which is the Carolina run defense holding Javonte Williams to 2.2 yards per carry. Because as you see there, he came into this game with one of the best, the Cowboys had one of the best rushing attacks in football. And think back to last season, guys. The Cowboys defense and the Carolina Panthers both had the, I would say, 31st and 32nd ranked run defenses in the NFL. But Carolina, unlike Dallas, actually seems to have improved in this regard. I thought the two Browns, Bobby Brown, Derek Brown, were excellent in this game. The entire front seven played well. If I'm a Panthers fan, that is something I'm really optimistic about because it is such a stark improvement from last year.
I want to go back to something that Dan said, which was he believes it was the best offensive line in the NFL yesterday for Carolina. They did it without three starting offensive linemen, including perhaps their best one, the right tackle, Taylor Moton. That's not a good sign for this Cowboys run defense. They are completely devoid of any sort of difference makers right now once they traded Micah Parsons. There is zero reason to believe this team has any chance of getting any better. The only way that the Cowboys are going to be able to play football this year is to follow the Bengals model from last season. We hope that we can beat you in the race to 35 points in a game because every single week they make the opposing quarterback look like a Pro Bowler. Bryce Young got things going in the second half. I thought 2 weeks ago that Bryce Young had an immensely important two-game stretch against the Dolphins, against the Cowboys. Two favorable defenses. They were down 17 early against Miami. He helps them come back and win. They win again yesterday at the buzzer. Things feeling a whole lot better for Bryce Young and the Panthers at 3-3.
Yeah, and they're 3-0 at home, which is great for the home.
What's up, Cowboys Nation? It's Victor here from Dallas Cowboys Today. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm frustrated, man. Our defense right now, it's flat out bad. We're giving up 31 points per game 6 weeks into the season. 31. That's bottom 5 in the entire NFL. The same Cowboys defense that used to terrorize quarterbacks is now getting torched on Sundays. But here's the silver lining. There's a name floating around the trade block that could change everything for this defense. And that name is Kayvon Thibodeaux from the New York Giants. Let's talk about how realistic this move actually is, why it makes so much sense for Dallas, and what it would mean for the future of this team. Before we dive in, smash that like button if you're sick of watching this defense fall apart. Hit subscribe if you bleed silver and blue, and tell me in the comments. Would you trade a second-round pick for Kayvon Thibodeaux right now? Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the obvious. This defense just isn't cutting it. After moving on from Micah Parsons, the pass rush is practically non-existent. We've only got 11 sacks through 6 games. 11! For comparison, by this time last year, we had 22. Teams are having all day to throw against us. Quarterbacks are sitting in the pocket, eating lunch, taking a nap, and then hitting 30-yard completions on 3rd and long. Matt Eberflus is getting roasted on every talk show in Dallas right now. Fans want him gone. But honestly, that's not fixing the real problem. You can fire the coordinator, but if you can't get to the quarterback, it doesn't matter who's calling the plays. This defense needs talent, plain and simple. So let's talk Kayvon Thibodeaux, because this guy fits the mold. He's just 24 years old, former 5th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and he's already shown serious flashes of being a dominant pass rusher. In just 49 career games, he's got 23.5 sacks, 31 tackles for loss, 54 QB hits, 6 forced fumbles, 12 pass breakups, and even a defensive touchdown. That's elite production for a player who's still on his rookie deal. He's currently on a $31 million contract through 2026 after the Giants picked up his 5th-year option, so you're getting a top-tier pass rusher locked in for 2 more seasons at a team-friendly price. And let's be real, the Giants have a surplus of pass rushers. They went out and added Brian Burns and drafted Abdul Carter, who's already starting to shine. So Thibodeaux, he's suddenly the odd man out. Now here's where this gets juicy for the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has been itching to make a splash since trading away Micah Parsons. He's sitting on 2 first-round picks. That's ammo, man. You don't stockpile picks just to sit on them. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, Thibodeaux's estimated trade value right now is a conditional second-round pick. That's it. Think about that. A 24-year-old former top 5 pass rusher for a second-rounder. Jerry could, and should, pull the trigger on that deal in a heartbeat. You're not just replacing what you lost with Micah, you're getting younger, cheaper, and adding a player who's more built to play every down in a 4-man front. Let's imagine what this defense would look like with Kayvon Thibodeaux lining up opposite James Houston, alongside Kenny Clark and Osa Odigizua on the interior. You've got a perfect mix of power, speed, and length. Thibodeaux is strong against the run. That's something Parsons struggled with. He sets the edge, doesn't get bullied by tackles, and he's got that motor you can't teach. And you add him to this front, suddenly Eberflus can stop calling desperate blitzes and start letting the front 4 do their job. That alone would help fix the coverage busts that have been killing this team every week. This move wouldn't just add talent, it would add balance. Now sure, trading within the NFC East isn't ideal. The Giants probably don't want to help us. But let's be honest, if they're sitting near the bottom of the standings and Jerry throws a second-round pick their way, they might take it. And from the Cowboys' perspective, that's the kind of deal that can flip your season. Thibodeaux gives you a legit building block for the next 5 years. If this team is serious about making a playoff run, if Jerry's all-in comments actually mean something this time, this is the move. So, Cowboys Nation, I'll say it loud and clear, this defense can't survive as is. We've got a Super Bowl caliber offense, but a defense that looks lost. Kayvon Thibodeaux could be the spark that brings that edge back. Literally. So I want to hear from you. Would you trade a second-round pick for Thibodeaux right now?